from the United States would go to Mexico, will fill out all the paperwork, and they would guarantee a job, and therefore he had the green card. The company, 2 years later, they went back to Mexico, they fill out our paperwork, and we came here. So I was very blessed to come here legally. But whether you're here legally or not, the shock and the cultural shock, more than anything else, it's the same. And I was frightened. I didn't want to come to the United States. I was 14 years old. When you're 14, you want to be with your friends and your cousins and your grandma. And to know that we were going to leave all of that, it was very tough. And I pleaded with my mother not to bring me, especially because I was going to miss my quinceañera. And I was like, no, I don't want to go there. But we came. And I will share this with you. We went back to do my quinceañera because my mom saw how distraught I was. And so we went back, and after my quinceañera, then I could start high school. Because at that time, it was by age. So I was still 14, so I couldn't, even though I had already finished la secundaria, junior high, I couldn't start high school because I was not 15 years old yet. So they said, you know what? Okay, came back, now I'm 15, now I'm ready to go. Well, at that time, you had to take an IQ test. Everybody going into high school had to take an IQ test. This is a long time ago. And so, the IQ, the average IQ is 100 points. Mine came back 27 points. You can laugh because everybody laughed anyways. My teacher, he gave me the 27 with a big circle, red. I remember it. I see it clearly. But far from making me upset, pobrecita, la mencita, it gave me this courage, and it gave me this resolve. And I said, you know what? The only thing that this 27 points means is that I don't speak English, because the test was in English. So learn English, learn it fast, learn it well, and then they can test me again. And it might be 29 or 28 points, but it's not going to be 27, I can tell you that. So I entered in a strict English diet. I only listened in English to the radio. I only watched TV. I'm sorry, Univision. I only watched the news in English. I would take the newspaper and I would read it out loud. I had no idea what I was saying, and I'm sure I bastardized the language like you could not believe. But to me, it wasn't that I wanted to teach or show everybody or anybody else that I was better than 27 points. I wanted to show myself that those 27 points did not define me, and it was not who I was. And so I graduated from high school in the top 20 students out of 460 that graduated, with my GPA. But I'll tell you, nobody told me about scholarships or grants or loans. Nobody told me that. So my mother sits me down and says, mijita, my brother and I graduated at the same time. Mijita, your brother, he's going to get married. He's going to have to support a family. So we have decided that he's going to go to college full-time, and to help with the house, he's going to work part-time. You, mamacita, you're going to get married. Somebody's going to support you. So we have decided that to help with the house, you go to work full-time. And if you want to go to college, well, you do that part-time. Okay, so more than 30 years ago, I wasn't going to talk to my mom about equal rights, gender equality. No. It was, okay, Mom, it's okay. It was okay, and it's still okay. All right. So I went to work full-time, but I went to college. I started college. The only college that I could go was the East LA Community College. That's all I could afford. I could have, with my grades, I could have probably gotten a full ride to wherever. but that's not what my family needed. And so it was okay. Nobody gave me a loan. Nobody gave me a grant. Nobody gave me a scholarship. I paid for it myself. And I am so proud. It took me 4 years to get my Associate of Arts degrees from East LA Community College. But I knew it wasn't enough. Vámonos, let's go to the university. And okay, vamos. So I went to Cal State LA. The same thing, the only university that I could afford. It's right next to East LA Community College. And it took me another 3 years. So 7 years later, I got my 4-year degree. And it wasn't enough. I wanted my master's degree. Vámonos a la maestría. By this time, I'm already married to my wonderful husband. And we're both yuppies, not hippies, yuppies, young upward mobile professionals at that time. So now we're married. Now we have I should tell you, I started working for a bank, City National Bank, as the assistant to the receptionist. Any bankers here? Anybody? Okay, there is nothing below assistant to the receptionist, because otherwise that's where I would have started, okay? But the bank realized, and they saw me, I was going to school, I was working very hard, and I was going to school, and so every 6 months, they started promoting me, every 6 months. In 6 years, I was going to be named Assistant Vice President for the bank, which in banking, and at that time, and as a Latina, and blah, 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 was a meteoric rise. Unbelievable. From assistant to the receptionist to assistant vice president of the bank was huge. But by this time, I'm getting my master's degree, we're married, we have our own cars. Well, I was making more money than my husband, okay? And I told my mom, ¿Qué pasó, jefa? What's going on? I thought he was going to support me, now I'm making more money than he is. Hi, my mom, she's in heaven. Okay, mom, but it's true. She knows it's true. And so everything is wonderful. We have our new home. We're yuppies. Life is wonderful, but it's not perfect. We have to go and order the baby. Now, babies, come from France, right? La cigüeña viene de Francia. So let's go to France. But I said to my husband, I want to go to France, but I'm sure the stork is also roams around Italy and Greece. So let's go to Italy and let's go and take a cruise through the Greek Isles. And lo and behold, let's order the baby every day in that cruise. Sometimes twice to make sure that the order got to the stork. And lo and behold, 9 months later, here comes Eric. But Eric comes with Down syndrome. And everything that I had worked for to attain came crumbling down. Eric not only did he have Down syndrome, but he had many other complications. Eric, the first 5 years of his life, faced death 6 times. Forget about the master's degree. I never finished it. I never even called the university to let them know that I was not going to finish my degree. I had to give up my career at the bank. I could no longer work. Eric needed me so much. A few months after Eric was born, I got pregnant again. And 4 months into the pregnancy, I lost that pregnancy to another syndrome. And so there were days that I was so distraught. I stopped working. When I stopped working, more than 50% of our family income disappears. So we have to sell our house. In 1 year, my life went from being so unbelievably happy and wonderful and fabulous to one that maybe I would eat, maybe I would take a shower, maybe not. I didn't know why God was punishing me this way. I didn't know why. I couldn't understand. I'm a good person. I've tried. I work hard. I've been a good daughter. I'm a good wife. I'm a good sister. I'm a good friend. Why is God punishing me this way? I was so stressed. I would do this and my hair would fall off. I lost I don't know how many pounds. I was unrecognizable. If somebody at that time, when I would go to sleep hoping that I wouldn't wake up, and then I woke up, and I would say, no, not again, not another day, no, this is I cannot handle this anymore. If anybody could have come to me at that time and said, stop, Rosario, don't worry about it, everything is gonna be fine. Look, when Eric is 6 years old, you're going to work for the governor of the state and you're going to help change the laws for people with disabilities. If somebody would have said that to me, I would have said, are you joking? Are you mad? I'm a banker. What do I know about laws? I know nothing about laws. Oh, no, espérate, Rosario, look. When Eric is 8 years old, you're going to run for city council. And eventually you're going to be the mayor of the city. And when you're the mayor of the city, you're going to help all the mayors embrace people with disabilities. Me? Politics? Are you kidding? Andar de argüendera ahí en la política? I'm not going to do that. I know nothing about politics. I'm a banker. Espérate, Rosario, wait. When Eric is 10 years old, he's going to be there with you at the United Nations. When the Kennedy family, when Senator Kennedy gives you the award at the United Nations of the name of his mother, the entire family is going to recognize you for your efforts on behalf of people with disabilities. Me? Mrs. Kennedy, the mother of the president, her children are going to give me an award at the United Nations? Unbelievable. No. Or wait, Rosario. When he's 15, he's going to stand right there with you when you submit your signature to be the first immigrant y la primera mexicana in submitting your signature to be imprinted in every bill of the greatest nation in the world. Or when he's 18, Rosario, when he's 18, the first time he's going to be able to vote, he's going to vote for you to be the Republican candidate for the U.S. Senate, the first Latina seeking that position. Or when he's 21, he's going to be there, right there with you when Governor Schwarzenegger asks you to be in his cabinet and be the first Latina to head the State and Consumer Services Agency with 17,000 employees. If anybody would have said that, certainly I would not have believed it. But I know that things happen as they should. I know that God has a different plan maybe than mine, but it's a beautiful, masterful plan for every single one of us. And so that's the second portion of the book. But I believe that when people ask me to write my story, and when people want to hear my story, maybe it's a portion of what maybe they want to know a little bit about that. So I wrote that in the second chapter of the book. But I really believe that what people want to know is when they ask, how do you become the treasurer of the United States? They don't necessarily want to know what classes I took and which universities I went. I think they want to know what holds you together. What are your values? What do you believe in? How do you get up when you're so torn down? And so that's the third portion of the book. I wrote this book. I only brought 10 copies, and I think Miguel already bought 3 or something like that. I don't know. I didn't know. I couldn't carry many. So the third portion of the book is the values. I came up with 7, and I thought long and hard as to what those 7 would be. I'm going to talk to you really, really fast about the first 3. because those are the values that I share with my children. They actually recited them to me when they were growing up, and they're so simple. They're very, very simple. And so when I share them with you, why don't I share 7? Because then nobody buys the book and nobody reads it. So I'm just going to do 3 really fast, okay? 1, always do the right thing. Always, 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 no matter what, no matter when, no matter where. I've been in politics 30 years. For us politicians, it's very easy to do the right thing when everybody's looking at us. When we have all these cameras in front of us, that's easy. You know, giving away turkeys, giving away backpacks and coats and planting trees, that's easy. To do the right thing when everybody's looking at you, anybody can do that. But to do the right thing when nobody's looking at you, that's a different story. To do the right thing when it is not the popular thing, that's very tough, very tough. We see it right now, everywhere people running for office. You know, long-held beliefs go by the wayside because it's not the popular thing. So always do the right thing. I want to believe that because I've always done the right thing, when the FBI went and looked at my entire life and picked up every stone that I had stepped on, they said, you know what? It might not have been the popular thing, but she always did the right thing. And therefore, she's okay to be the treasurer of the United States. And that's why I was confirmed unanimously. Always do the right thing. You know, it would have been easy for me to not always do the right thing. Because doing the right thing is sometimes very, very hard. And when you're the only one standing, when everybody's pointing at you, when everybody's telling lies about you, and you hold steady and hold tight, and you say, I will not do that no matter what. That is very tough. But when you do that, you can sleep at night. You'll be okay. And more importantly, you can look at the eyes of the people you love. See, when you don't do the right thing, you always bring your head down. You can't look at people in the eye. And it would frighten me to not be able to look at my mother in the eye or my husband.